What's going on? My name is Brian and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do a lot of videos on YouTube on my fish keeping hobby, specifically focusing on freshwater predators. If you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing and stay tuned. So for today's video, I kind of wanted to start off by showing off what I've done to the tanks in the garage, specifically on the plants themselves. I've done a lot of changes with the plants that I have incorporated with my aquariums. So let's go ahead and check that out right now. So let's go ahead and start off with the guppies and the sump system. As you can see, there's no more pothos. Actually took the pothos out just because of this. Yep. You see, when my pothos was populating my window, it kind of built up a lot of bugs, a lot of spiders and a lot of bugs that just ended up dying here, and it got kind of nasty. It was all along the side of my window from there to here, and there's some bugs over there as well. I guess it was a really good spot for spiders to hang out, so they kind of just stayed there and killed bugs and left the bodies there. So instead of the pothos being in the garage, I ended up putting them here. Wait, let me get some light. I ended up putting them outside. So as you can see, I hung them on the wall and then kind of have the roots going down into my tub. I have some minnows in here and some other propagated pothos. So I just kind of put it in this tub and let it all grow out. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this yet. Maybe when it gets a little warmer, I might get some goldfish and put them in here. I was actually thinking maybe 1 or 2 ranchus and put them out here and have them grow out. Might look pretty cool when people come over and they see a really chubby goldfish kind of greeting them at the door. So yeah, that's where my pothos went. They grew exceptionally well. The leaves got pretty big, and yeah, so this is where they're at. So the one on the stem on the left was from my guppies, and the stem on the right was from my Pyaros tank. Luckily the stem grew really long, so I was able to kind of hang it up. Maybe the pothos will populate this wall eventually. So with the pothos gone, I definitely need a plant in both of my systems to consume nutrients. I didn't want any more terrestrial plants just because they pretty much attract bugs. So I had to focus on fully aquatic plants. So I went ahead and got this. So you can see that little boulder, that little rock. That's the plant that I ended up getting. You may be wondering what the heck that is, but I'll show you right now. So what you were looking at is a bulb. It's one of those lily pad bulbs that you get at Petsmart. It's like you maybe get like 2 or 3 in a little top fin box, and it's guaranteed to grow in 30 days. And it was only $6, so I went ahead and picked up 1 packet. I put one of those bulbs in the tub outside where the pothos are currently at right now, and then I put the other one with the guppies. I wanted to see the difference between growing it in cold water and growing it in warm water. Maybe one grows faster than the other. Both of these bulbs are pretty much planted in a sand substrate. Since they're both seeds, I don't really think that they need light. I just think they need the nutrients from the water. Since the lily pad bulb is in the jar where my Amazon sword used to be, I ended up putting the Amazon sword in the aquarium with the Pyara. Now that I have a sandy substrate, I can actually plant the Amazon sword straight into the substrate and have it just kind of hang out there. With the pothos gone, it might make the aquarium plants a little bit more lush, just because there's going to be extra nutrients in the water column. So hopefully that will contribute to healthier aquatic plants in my aquarium. I really hope there's growth in this lily pad bulb. I'm pretty excited to see what the hell comes out of that bulb. It's hot as hell. I didn't want to finish the video on that specific day. I wanted to show you guys the progress of the bulbs, if the bulbs sprouted any kind of plants, if the bulbs sprouted any kind of roots, something like that. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of progression on the bulbs themselves. So I'm happy to report that something did happen with one of the bulbs, while the other one I'll get to explaining. So one of the bulbs did perfectly fine. One of the bulbs actually sprouted multiple plants. I think it's multiple plants, but it might just be one huge one. all jammed into one. Just to give you guys a little bit of a perspective of what I'm seeing, I took the jar out of the guppy enclosure just so I can zoom into the plants and kind of show you guys the progression of it growing in the little jar with a little bit of aquarium sand that's in it. As you can see, there's some sprouts in the jar. 2 of them are growing within the jar, but eventually will come to the surface, while the other one is pretty much protruding out of the jar itself. So it's good growth from the bulb that was planted with my guppies. But on the topic of the second bulb, the one that I have outside in the tub, I think I lost it. I don't know. I planted it and then I haven't checked on it for a long time. I came back and the bulb is actually gone. I searched the surface of the tub. There's no bulb that's kind of floating at the top near the duckweed or anything. I checked all of the corners. I even did a little water change just so I can lower the water volume and search around the tub itself. The bulb is completely gone. I don't know where it is. Maybe it disintegrated. I'm not too sure. But at least one of them made it and is doing pretty well. I can't wait to see its growth. I can't wait to see how big it grows in the little tub. If I have to relocate it, then I'll go ahead and do that. But during this time, I'll go ahead and find some time to search around the tub and try to find that little bulb. Maybe it grew into a plant and just got caught up with all the other Java fern that's inside. Because in that tub, I have Java fern and a little bit of Java moss, and they're doing pretty well, even though the environment's kind of cold and whatnot. So I'll search around that, even though I did a little bit. I was actually hoping that bulb grew outside because I needed to cover the sunlight for this tub just because I have a little bit of an algae problem when I don't have too much duckweed on the surface. I guess we'll just have to see. Maybe it'll come up out of nowhere randomly, but hopefully I'll be able to find it and check on its progress as well. So that's just a little update I wanted to give you guys on my plants and the little plans I had for the plants in the garage and the plants that's in the outdoor tub. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and peace, guys. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot. Look at my shorts, though. You're